Hey guys, it's Jaclyn. So I wanted to share with you guys today this bronzy and glowy look that I've been loving lately. I've been wearing this in the last couple of videos and I thought I would show you guys how I did it. So to get started, I'm just going to take the Charlotte Tilbury Wonder Glow, and this is kind of like a primer and a highlighter in one, and I'm just going to focus this on the tops of my cheekbones and on my cupid's bow and anywhere else where I want to really highlight and bring a lot of light. And then under my eyes, I'm going to take the Clarins Instant Under Eye Concealer, and this is really good for covering up that purpley discoloration under the eyes. And then for my blemishes, I'm just going to use the Nars Creamy Concealer. This is my go-to concealer for covering blemishes because it is so full coverage, so I really love using that. And then for foundation, I wanted to pick something that was pretty full coverage but also really dewy, so I decided to go with the Nars Sheer Glow Foundation here. So I'm just kind of dotting this around my skin, and then I'm going to take a damp beauty blender and just kind of bounce and stipple that around my skin to blend it all out. I've really been loving using beauty blenders recently just because I find it really presses the product into your skin so effortlessly, and it makes it look so airbrushed and flawless, so I've really been loving that lately. And then to set everything in place, I'm just using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Powder. This one here is in the shade Dim Light. I really like using a powder like this, especially on top of this foundation, because the powder really helps set everything, but it doesn't mattify or make the skin look dull at all. It's still really fresh and glowy, which is exactly what we're going for. So you can see here I was pretty pumped about how glowy my skin was looking. And then I'm just going to put on some Urban Decay eyeshadow primer and just let that sit for a minute. And wow, okay, I am very excited. This is the Charlotte Tilbury Filmstar Bronze and Glow palette, which I love if you couldn't tell. And I'm just going to take the Sculpt color and lightly feather that in my cheekbone. Wow, that sounded so fancy. Lightly feather that. And I'm also going to dust that down the sides of my nose and on the bridge of my nose a little bit. And then I'm also going to pop a little bit of that color onto my temples and also blend that into the hairline. That's just kind of something I always like to do. I love blending a bit of the bronzy kind of colors into my hairline and along the sides of my face as well. I'm also going to pop a little bit of that into my jawline. It just adds a bit more definition and depth. Again, it's something that I always love to do. And then I'm just going to blend all of that out with a big fluffy powder brush just to make sure there's no harsh edges or anything like that. And then I'm going to take a little bit of that color and pop it onto a big fluffy eyeshadow blending brush. And I'm just going to kind of blend that into my crease using big windshield wiper motions. And then using the highlight from that kit, I'm just going to pop that onto the tops of my cheekbones. So I'm lightly just going to pat that on with a small brush and just kind of lightly blend it down onto the rest of my cheek. Oh my gosh, it's so pretty, eh? I love how glowy it is. And then I'm also popping a little bit of that onto my brow bone and also a bit on my cupid's bow and also a little bit on my inner tear duct. So basically just put this product everywhere on your face and it will look beautiful. And then I'm just going to go in with this blush. This is just the Cheek to Chic blush in Ecstasy. Cheek to Chic, that's kind of a tongue twister. And I'm just going to pop that on the apples of my cheeks as well as like a bit in the hairline and on the temples. Be very careful with this. It will add a bit more of a sun-kissed look, but it can look very weird very quickly. Then I'm just going to fill in my eyebrows with this Dior eyebrow pencil. And I'm going to focus most of the product and define the most towards the bottom part of my eyebrows, just because I find that tends to look the most natural on me. And then I'm just going to comb through with a little spoolie brush just to blend everything together. The eyeshadow palette I'm going to be using today is called the Fallen Angel. And with that lighter champagne color, I'm going to focus that on the center of my eyelids. I'm also going to pop a little bit of that on my brow bone, right where the arch of my eyebrow is. And then with the bronzy brown color in that palette, I'm going to focus that on the outer V of the eye. And I'm going to dust that into the crease and also blend it down onto the eyelid a little bit. And then with that same color on a pencil brush, I'm just going to smudge that into the lower lash line. I'm also going to build up the intensity on the outer V and just continue to blend that onto the lid and into the crease. I find the key with this eyeshadow look is to just keep blending away. So just keep blending with a clean brush or with the brush that you're using to apply the color with, and just keep blending. So here I'm going in with a clean, fluffy blending brush just to blend the edges. Then with this warm brown eye pencil, I'm just going to smudge that into the lash line. You don't have to worry about this being too perfect because we are going to smudge it out a little bit, but I do like to focus most of the color onto the outer third of the eyelid, or the lash line, sorry. Then I'm just going to blend that out and smoke it out with a little pencil brush. I'm also going to add that color into the waterline, which looks very painful in this shot, but I promise it doesn't hurt. And then I'm just going to extend the eyeliner a little bit and create a little cat eye. Again, don't worry about this being too perfect because we are going to blend it and smudge it away. So I'm just going to take a little pencil brush and just kind of blend that into my crease and into my lash line. This is just going to help elongate the eye and add a bit more definition without being too obvious. Next, I'm going to curl my eyelashes with my trusty Uemura eyelash curler. Then I'm going to put on a nice and generous coat of mascara. I find this eye look looks really pretty if you put on a big fluffy pair of eyelashes as well, but I don't normally wear false eyelashes when I do this look, so I decided not to put them on in this tutorial, but if you want to put them on, they look very nice as well. So there's the eye look, and let's move on to lips. So for the lips, oh, anytime now, there we go. I'm just going to line my lips with a lip liner. This is just a really soft, neutral, pale pink kind of color. This is called Pillowtalk by Charlotte Tilbury. Then I'm just going to pop a little bit of a golden gloss right on the center of my bottom lip just to make it appear a bit more full. Let's move on to hair. I've got something caught in it. There we go. So I just curled my hair with a curling wand. So what am I doing? I just curled my hair with a curling wand, and I'm just going to kind of tease it and mess it up a little bit. So I'm just going to take some hairspray, and then I'm going to take a tail comb and start backcombing. So with the bottom layers like this one, I'm going to backcomb all the way down to the bottom of the hair. Whereas when I move up in layers like I'm doing here, I'm going to focus most of the backcombing on like the underneath side of the hair, focusing it more at the roots. This is just going to keep it looking a bit more controlled and a bit more finished, not just straight up messy. And then I just like to take the tail comb and loosely fluff up the ends of the hair as well. Just make sure that you smooth down and finish the top surface of the hair before you're all done. But you can see that doing all this teasing just adds way more dimension and just makes the hair look way more interesting. So you're just going to want to keep messing around with your hair until you get it to how you like. I think it's also really cute to pin your hair back and do a little like half ponytail kind of style with it. I love the way that looks. Or if not, you can just kind of shake it out and mess around with it some more and just wear it down. So I decided to wear my hair down for this, but that is it for the hair. It's pretty simple and pretty quick to do. So that is the completed hair and makeup. Definitely leave me a comment down below and let me know what you think of this. I've really been loving this look recently. I'm sure as you can tell in my videos, I've been wearing it a ton. So I hope you guys like it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I will see you guys soon.